Tonight we're getting into day 4. We're getting into day 4 of our journey through unlocking favor with God and people. And what we're speaking about tonight is the power of relationships. We're talking about the power of relationships. Because when we talk about favor, this idea of favor, you'll be very disappointed if you try to live your life seeking the favor of God and thinking that you don't need people. God's favor is expressed through people. God's favor is revealed through people. I want you to tag somebody right there in the comment section and say, I need you. Don't make it weird. Just say I need you. Just say I need you. And you can also say you need me, right? You can also tell them you need me. Just whoever you see in the comment section. Right? I need you and you need me. We need each other. Don't make it weird. Yeah, don't make it weird. It's very normal. It's very normal. You gotta tell people on social media that you need them and they need you. That's you see, some of you are already laughing. It's not funny. It's normal. We need each other. How do we know that we need each other? Look at what the wise writer of Ecclesiastes says over there in Ecclesiastes chapter 4. Ecclesiastes chapter 4. We're going to look at verse 9 to verse 12. Verse 9 to verse 12 of Ecclesiastes chapter 4. You've heard this many, many times. Here's what he says. 2 are better than 1, because they have a good return for their labor. If either of them falls down, one can help the other up. But pity anyone who falls and has no one to help them up. Also, if 2 lie down together, they will keep warm. That is a metaphor. Don't go lying down with people. But how can one keep warm alone? Though one may be overpowered, 2 can defend themselves. A cord of 3 strands is not quickly broken. A cord of 3 strands is not quickly broken. He starts that little piece off by saying to you and I, 2 are better than 1. Why? Because they have a good return for their labor. You know, when we started this series on Sunday, I said to you that many of you listening to the sound of my voice right now, all you want out of life at this point that you are at is just for what you are doing to work. Just what you are doing to work. You ever found yourself just, I'm so sick and tired of doing the work. I'm not lazy. I'm not careless, but I'm working and I am not seeing the kind of progress that I wish to be seeing. And sometimes it's not that there is no progress. Sometimes it's just that the progress is not significant enough to keep up with the way that life is going. It is not significant enough to keep up with the bills. It's not significant enough to keep up with the overwhelming challenges that come with life. Right? And that's why the writer starts off by saying 2 are better than 1 for this reason. The first reason why 2 are better than 1 is that they have a good return for their labor. They have a good return for their labor. In other words, if you were to push your car alone, you might make some progress. But if somebody else came to help you and they start pushing with you, you will use the same energy, but you will get more for it. Are we together? Let me say that again. If you go out right now and you start pushing a car, the energy that you exert is no different to the energy that you would need to exert if you were with somebody else. But for some reason, the same energy, the same effort, but the results are better. The results are quicker. It is more efficient. And some of us here tonight, your next breakthrough lies in a relationship. Listen to me. Your next breakthrough lies in a relationship. And it doesn't matter what kind of relationship it is. But for some of us here tonight, what will happen is that the moment you start to honor certain relationships, keys are handed to you to say, here you go. It's time for the next dimension. For some of you here tonight, you've been trying to do this whole thing by yourself, trying to get this business going by yourself because you don't want to say, it's my baby, it's my baby. But the baby is skinny. The baby is not getting food. There's no money coming in. The baby is stuck. The baby is not eating anything. Just the baby is struggling. But it's my baby. I don't want to work with anybody. It's my baby. And if you just started working with somebody tomorrow, you find that all of a sudden, everything changes. You find out that the breakthrough that I was seeking was in this relationship. It was in this partnership. That's where it was. Listen to me. God's favor comes through relationships. It is through relationships. One more time, right there in the comment section. Just tell somebody, I need you and you need me. I need you and you need me. We can't get away from this. We can't get away from the fact that life is relationships. And if you're not aware of this, what's going to happen is you are going to hate people who have profitable relationships in their lives. Right? You're going to hate people. You're going to hate people. For some, no, it's because when he's your friend, that's why you, oh, who else? Who else? Yes. Rona, we are trying to do this without connection. That's why it's taking long. Then get connections. Then get some. Can we be serious here tonight? Right? Because that's just another way of saying relationship. That's just another way of saying that doors open for him because he had the right relationships. That's what it is. I'm not saying this so that it would make anybody feel bad. Once again, remember, as we are going through this, we want to elevate our mindsets. We want to elevate our thinking to the point where we catch up with these principles that are given to us in Scripture. Sometimes we see people who don't even believe in God understand these principles better than we do. They apply these principles better than we do. Why? Because these are people who honor relationships. They honor relationships. It doesn't matter what they do. It doesn't matter what is going on. Let me tell you, I learned this from this man that I used to walk with. I used to be with him wherever he would go. He was a mentor of mine, and experiencing the way he interacts with people. A very well-off man in his own right. And wherever we went, it was very interesting because what he would do is he would always give people money. He would always bless somebody with something. I'll give you an example. We go to the police station. Still remember this very well. We go to the police station. They help us for him to get an affidavit for something. He needed an affidavit for something. The police officer helps out, does the affidavit, everything, and then you know what he does? He says, Ska Jumpies. I know I'm not supposed to do this, but... And in my mind, I'm like, he just did his job. He just did his job. That was it. What do you mean? Like, he was supposed to do that. He didn't do you a favor. But walking with this kind of person, I started to realize that wherever we go, this person made sure that he was remembered by people everywhere he went by way of a gift. It was always some kind of gift by way of just giving something, leaving them with something, leaving them with some kind of impression. He made sure that he would not be forgotten. He made sure that he has somebody who knows him there. So tonight, as we dig a little deeper into this idea of relationships, as we dig a little deeper tonight into our need for relationships, I want us to undo some of our old thinking. What's going to happen is, for some of us, what's going to have to happen tonight is we're going to have to let go of some of the hurts that we've been holding on to that made us think that we don't need people. Some of us have the same mindset that I grew up with when I was a kid, because when I was a kid, I was told friends will waste your time. That was it. They didn't say the wrong friends will waste your time. These kinds of friends will waste your time. No, no, no. When I was a kid, I was told friends will waste your time. Right? Friends will waste your time. Poloko told me. But I didn't know that they had no idea. What they meant to say was, the wrong friends will waste your time. There are certain people who will waste your time. There are certain people whom you shouldn't have in your life. And so the idea is not to get rid of people. The idea is to replace those who shouldn't be there. Replace. So I seen a couple of videos from this guy on TikTok. Anyway, but that's the whole idea. The whole idea is to say replace. It is not to say be a loner. It is not to say live life on your own. It is not to say go and live in the mountains by yourself because people are bad. No. You replace who shouldn't be in your life. But you don't walk alone. You don't walk alone. Why? Because two are better than one. Two are better than one. I used to hold this idea when I was a kid until I was about 19 years old. And I was living in this house with a friend of mine. It was a house that the church owned, and the church allowed us to stay in that house, but we didn't have money to eat. We just lived. We were just happy to have a place to live and move out of home. And I still remember my friend Presley and I, we would always just, find a way to go and eat at people's houses. We would just hustle up whatever we could just to survive the day. And I remember there was one time we had some friends come over to our place after church on a Sunday. After the service on a Sunday, they came to stop by and they were just hanging out with us, just talking to us, in the kitchen. And one of them happened to open the cupboard. The laughter that echoed through that property, the laughter that was heard from next door. And one of them said, let's check the fridge. They went to check the fridge. The laughter got even louder. When I tell you right now, I have never been laughed at like that for being hungry. And I'm looking at this, I'm laughing as well because, it's funny. I've never felt sorry for myself. I was just laughing as well because it's ridiculous. Who doesn't even have an onion? Who doesn't even have an onion? Because the way this came about, there's somebody said, I bet all these guys have is an onion. I said, an onion? I wish I had an onion. Right? They checked, the cupboards were clean. It didn't look like there had been food in it. They were clean. The fridge was clean. And everybody laughs. We all just, what's whatever. And everybody leaves to go home and go eat their home-cooked meals that their mothers made. And then later on that afternoon, I still remember there was a friend of ours who came. One of those friends, because it was about 4 guys who were with us over there with me and Presley. And then later on, one of the guys who were there comes over to visit us, and he calls me and he says, listen, I'm at the gate. Where are you guys? I said, no, we're inside. He said, come open the gate for me. Just want to hang out with you guys a little bit. And he comes with these 2 plastic bags from Choppies, right? 2 plastic bags from Choppies. He said, guys, I just thought I should bring this for you guys. And, I thought maybe that might be, that might help out a little bit. There was some tin fish in there. It was, some chicken necks in there. Chicken necks, oh my goodness. Chicken necks are a waste of time. But anyway, it's fine. I appreciate it. But, he had a couple of things in there, some rice, a couple of food items that would last us for that whole entire week that was coming. But I still remember looking at the contrast, the contrast in the friends that I had. I said, okay, so out of the 4 guys who were here earlier, there was one friend. Everybody else is just guys that I know. But there was one friend. You hear what I'm saying? It was one friend who said, I see where you are at right now, and I'll try to meet you where you are. When we talk about this idea of relationships, my friend, it goes all the way back to the creation of mankind. It goes back to the creation of mankind in Genesis chapter 2. After God had created the first two human beings that he created, after creating Adam, after creating the man first, this is what God says in Genesis chapter 2, verse 18. He says, the Lord God said, it is not good for the man to be alone. I will make a helper suitable for him. It is not good for the man to be alone. I will make a helper suitable. Right there in the comment section, say suitable. Not just any kind of helper, not just another person. Not just another person, because I've learned that not everybody is suitable. Not everybody is suitable for you. You might be here tonight. I might not be suitable for you, and you might not be suitable for me in light of where you are trying to go and what you are trying to do and who you are trying to become. And so, though we can greet each other from a distance, you should probably keep me at arm's length, because where you are trying to go, I can't seem to see the same thing. And so, not everybody is suitable, but God makes this point. He says the man needs a helper suitable for him. Every single one of us need helpers suitable for us. And when we talk about helpers, I want to expand this a little bit tonight, because I'm not talking about a husband or a wife. And so you can relax a little bit. Don't think we're not talking about you. Listen, we're not talking about husbands and wives. What we're talking about here tonight is simply this idea of not doing life alone. Not doing life alone. Right? Some of you here tonight will be waking up tomorrow morning to go to a job, and the only reason why you are there is because you are suitable. There are people who have occupied the position that you are in right now. There are people who have been fired because they were not suitable for the company, and you are there right now because you are suitable. Maybe you're not suitable and they're about to fire you soon, but I'm kidding. God, I don't want them to fire you, but I just hope you are suitable for that position, and they'll keep you if you are suitable. But anyway, my point is that the whole idea is the spaces that you occupy, you are there because you are found to be suitable. Whether it is an assistant, whether it is a manager, whether it is a supervisor, whether it is a floor clerk, or whether it doesn't matter what it is, a business partner. We walk with people who are compatible with us, who are walking in step with us. You know what the Bible says? Amos chapter 3, verse 3. In Amos chapter 3, verse 3, this question is posed to us, but it's more of a rhetorical question. The question is, can two people walk together without agreeing on a direction? Can two people walk together without agreeing on a direction? That's why I need people. The people that I walk with agree on we are only walking together because we agree on the direction. There's no way. If we don't agree, at some point, we will find that we are no longer next to each other. You'll find that we are no longer next to each other. Even though we started together, we are no longer together. Because two people cannot walk together without agreeing on a direction. So whoever you are walking with, you are agreeing with. No, but the thing is, now I'm not like them. If you are walking with them, you are agreeing with them. There's no way that you could be walking with them if you didn't agree on the direction that you all are walking in right now. If we're walking together, we've agreed. You and I are here together. For those of you who have been consistent with these sessions, at least in this part of in this part of our lives, we are compatible. In this part of our lives, we agree. That's why you're listening. If you've been listening for at least 2 days, you are here because on some level we agree, and so we walk in the same direction in this area. You know this because there are certain people who also preach the word. You don't want to listen to them. You know this because there are certain people you try to listen to and I don't see it like that. I don't agree. Yes, we're all reading the Bible, but I don't know what you mean when you say that, because that's not how I read it. And so I can't seem to agree with you, so we will not walk in the direction. People cannot walk together without first agreeing. Listen to me, when God created you and I, he created us with the intention to find people who are compatible with us in order to continue to be productive as he intended, to rule as he intended. And being productive is not just making babies. I'm not saying don't make babies, but I'm just saying it's not just making babies. I'm saying like make babies, but then also like do other things. You get me? Like do other things that are productive and they move society forward and your life forward. You know, the babies are nice, but they're gonna leave you one day. There is a story of a man called Elijah. And we referenced him in the devotional. In the devotional, we referenced the story of Elijah, and we'll read that in just a moment, right? We'll read that in just a moment. But the story of Elijah is a very simple one. At this point, or rather this part of his story, at this point, Elijah is going through a dry season. Things are tough for him. If we are to use today's language, Elijah's broke. Now he's broke. It's bad. It's bad. If he was from Pretoria, he would probably say like, oh wait, like it's bad for him. It's bad. If you know what I'm talking about, say amen. It ever been so bad that have things ever been so bad that you start to understand certain things? Like you not that you do it, like you don't do it, right? You don't do it. But you start to understand certain things. Like you start to understand why somebody would go and stand on the road and beg for food. Like you get it. Like it's not like you want to go do it. It's not like maybe you're not there yet. Maybe you've been there. That doesn't matter. But like you get it. You're just like, I get you. Like I really get it. Anyway, Elijah is in that place, right? He's in that position. And then God says to him, Elijah, I've got your next level of provision. Because where he was, God had provided for him in one way. And God says, the next phase of your provision will come from a woman who is a widow. Now, this is already weird because a widow would usually be expected to be a poor woman, because it is likely that she used to have a husband, unless she had a rich husband who left her with something. But usually it would be a woman who was married to a man who used to take care of her, and now that the husband is gone, she's barely making ends meet, right? And now it's okay. You don't have to worry about it. The women today take care of their men. It's 2025. But that's the kind of person that Elijah would have to go and ask food from. He would go and have to ask food from a woman who barely has anything herself. And then we see them get into this relationship where they sustain one another in different ways. It's so beautiful. And in this, I'm sure if you've been with me for a long time, we've done a teaching on this where the subject of it was, don't break the cycle. Don't break the cycle. That's what we spoke on. But the whole idea here is Elijah is helping this woman, and this woman is helping Elijah, and in turn, both of them get to eat. Both of them get to live. Both of them get to survive in a terrible economy. Before we read this, my friend, let me just remind you that your next breakthrough is in a relationship. Your next breakthrough is in a relationship. Don't take them for granted. Don't undermine them. For some of us here tonight, for some of us, what needs to happen is that there are certain relationships that we never should have let go, that we never should have taken for granted. And it's fine. All is not lost. All is not lost. God can restore. But we need to know this just so that we know how not to move next time. My friend, I'll be the first one to tell you. I'll be the first one to tell you that in my life, there have been certain relationships which I never should have taken for granted. I'm not telling you to go back to your ex, because I know he would buy you wings, but if he was also don't go back there. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying though is some of us know the relationships that we squandered. We know. Some of us know the friends that we did wrong. Right? We know the people that God placed on our path. That they came at just the right time, on the verge of that breakthrough, and for some reason, because I don't know, there's something about an inner child when you are 49 years old, something about an inner child sabotaged everything, just ruined everything. You hear me? May God help us. May God help us. My friend, let today be a reminder that we will no longer despise when we see people rise because of relationships. We will learn. Let me say this again. We will no longer despise when we see people rise because of relationships. We will learn. We will learn. And I want you to get me on this, because for some of you, when you hear me say this, your concern now is, but where do I get those relationships? Because those relationships, now my friends are useless. Let's get into the story. Let's get into the story so that we can give you a better perspective on your useless friends. I didn't call them useless. I'm saying like if you are calling them useless. I'm not I think your friends are useful. I think they're good people. Have a look at First Kings chapter 17. We're going to read from verse 7 to verse 16. Verse 7 to verse 16 of First Kings chapter 7. Sometime later, the brook dried up because there had been no rain in the land. Then the word of the Lord came to him being Elijah. Go at once to Zarephath in the region of Sidon and stay there. By the way, just pause right there. Pause right there. It says the word of the Lord came to him and said, go at once, go at once, go at once, at once. Right there in the comment section, say at once. You know what that at once means? It means go, move now, move immediately. Move immediately. I loved the testimony that Babi shared yesterday on our group. I shared it with you as well, but I love the testimony that she shared yesterday, because what she said to us was, after we spoke about value, after we spoke about the power of value, what she did was the following. She said she prayed about it, and the following morning when she woke up, she called her senior and said, listen, I would like to shadow people who are in these positions, because that's where I would like to be one day. And it was at that time that it so turns out that somebody had just vacated a position, and that responsibility has now been handed over to her. Listen, favor, breakthrough is also a matter of timing. It is also a matter of timing. Let me put it to you this way. There are times when God will say, move now. And in his infinite wisdom, he timed it so perfectly that no mistakes can be made if you just listen, and you will meet with the right person at a very specific place, and things will work out in your favor, and that will be where your acceleration happens. That will be where your lifting happens. But we have to be sensitive. We have to be discerning. We have to be sensitive to the voice of the Holy Spirit, who speaks to us, who guides us, who leads us, who nudges us. Right? Anyway, so God said to him, go at once, and you need to go now. Here's why. God says, I have directed a widow there to supply you with food. Oh, God says, I have directed somebody there to supply you with food. But here's the interesting thing. You're going to learn in just a moment. The widow herself doesn't know yet. The widow herself doesn't know yet. So God is saying, don't worry. I've already spoken to the people that you're going to need when you get there. Just get up and go. But the people who are there, if you had to tell them that God said that you are going to take care of me, you know what those people said? The widow hears this, and she says, I don't have enough myself. There's no way. There's me of all people. Listen to what she says. Listen to what she says. I'm not making this up, I promise. It says, when he came to the town gate, a widow was there gathering sticks. When he got to the town gate, a widow was there gathering some sticks. Once again, a matter of timing. She was out doing something that she would have been doing anyway. It's not that he knew that she was going to be there. It's not like this was a pre-planned meeting between the two of them, but it was ordained by God. And so it was important that Elijah does not delay, but goes. He called to her and asked, would you bring me a little water in a jar so I may have a drink? As she was going to get it, he called, and bring me, please, a piece of bread. Piece of bread. Listen, she says, as surely as the Lord your God lives. In other words, kamudimo. She replied, I don't have any bread, only a handful of flour in a jar and a little olive oil in a jug. She said, I don't have. Why are you asking me of all people? I am gathering a few sticks to take home and make a meal for myself and my son, that we may eat it and die. She said, listen, as we're speaking right now, me and my son are about to have our last meal. We're about to have our last meal, so I don't have anything for you. He's broke, she's broke, they're broke. It's two broke people, and you would think two broke people have no business being together at this point. You know what happens? Here's what happens. Elijah said to her, don't be afraid. That's the first thing. Don't be afraid. Go home and do as you have said. But first, everyone say first. But first, make a small loaf of bread for me from what you have and bring it to me. And then make something for yourself and your son. For this is what the Lord, the God of Israel, says. The jar of flour will not be used up, and the jug of oil will not run dry until the day the Lord sends rain on the land. She went away and did as Elijah had told her. So there was food every day. Once again, there was food every day for Elijah and for the woman and her family. For the jar of flour was not used up, and the jug of oil did not run dry, in keeping with the word of the Lord spoken by Elijah. Both of them are sustained. And the sustenance comes from the fact that what I lacked, you had, and what you lacked, I had. In other words, Elijah had the faith, but he didn't have the capital. This woman had a little capital, but she didn't have the faith that things could work out. And so she had already given up. She was at her end. Let me say that again. Right? I'm trying to use language we can understand here. She had a little capital, just a little bit. But she could not see how this could go beyond tomorrow. He didn't have anything. He just had his jacket. But he showed up with spiritual insights that she did not have. And when these two resources came together, there was more than enough for everybody involved. Because you see, by herself, she would have had the last meal that she wanted to have and then went on to die. By herself, that capital, that little bit, would have just, gone. And by himself, he could pray and pray and pray and pray. When you're hungry, though. Now, when you're hungry, you're hungry. Yeah, no. When you're hungry, you're hungry. You get pray and pray and pray. When you're hungry, you're hungry. You hear what I'm saying? And so you see these two people that come together, and there is a beautiful cycle that is created where what I have pours into you, and what you have also sustains me. And both of us have more than we brought to the table. Both of us have more than we brought to the table. So my question tonight is, what do you bring to the table? God, no, it's not like that. Day four. I want you to look at this in day 4 of your book, Unlocking Favour with God and People. Day 4 is on page 31. Day 4 is on page 31. And it starts off with the scripture that we read in the beginning. We read the scripture in the beginning, Ecclesiastes chapter 4, verse 9 to verse 12. 2 are better than 1 because they have a good return for their labor. If either of them falls down, one can help the other up. But pity anyone who falls down and has no one to help them up. Listen, my friend, pity anyone who falls down and has no one to help them up. Let me ask you very, very quickly. If you fall down tomorrow, are you confident that there will be a hand that reaches down to pull you up? No, my God will pull me up if I fall down. I get it, and I don't want to belittle your faith. Listen, your God has to use a human being. Your God will use a human being. It says, pity anybody who falls down and has no one to help them up, nobody to call. Anybody who sits in trouble and has no one to go to. Also, if two lie down together, they will keep warm. But how can one keep warm alone? Though one may be overpowered, two can defend themselves. A cord of 3 strands is not quickly broken. Let's get into what the wise writer of Unlocking Favour with God and People said. We're in page 31. You were never meant to walk alone. One of the earliest declarations God makes about humanity is found in Genesis 2, verse 18. It is not good for the man to be alone. This profound truth doesn't just speak to marriage. It speaks to the core of our design as human beings. We are created for connection. We are made to walk with others, and in doing so, unlock dimensions of life that would otherwise remain closed to us. The power of favor is deeply interwoven with the power of relationships. Favor doesn't just fall from the sky. It often flows through people. Let me say that again. Favor doesn't just fall from the sky. It often flows through people. The thing you need, the thing that you are praying for right now, it will be delivered to you through the hand of a man. If anybody speaks my language here tonight, I don't know how to translate it, so I'm not gonna try to translate it. But if you get it, you get it. I used to hear all the time when I was younger. Modimo ha Afrika letsogo. In other words, like God is not gonna reach out a hand through the sky and just hand it to you, right? Hope comes through relationships, through people. It gets better though. Strategic and God-ordained relationships are divine channels through which access, promotion, provision, and preservation come. And yet, because of disappointments, past betrayals, pride, or poor teaching, many people either avoid meaningful relationships or mismanage the ones they have. Let me say that again. Listen. And yet, because of disappointments, past betrayals, pride, poor teaching, many people either avoid meaningful relationships or mismanage the ones they have. This day is about breaking those patterns and embracing the truth that relationships are not just helpful, they are necessary for divine favor. Relationships are necessary for divine favor. The supernatural advantage of partnership. Proverbs 18 verse 22 says, he who finds a wife finds what is good and receives favor from the Lord. Everybody say amen. This is one of the clearest scriptures that link relationships with divine favor. But let's extend this principle further. If finding the right spouse attracts favor, how much more does finding the right friend, mentor, coach, or partner? Relationships are like keys. They open doors. We're on page 33 now. By the way, if you don't have this book, you need to get this book. If you spend any time with truly successful people, you will notice a trend. They always know someone. Whether it's a lawyer, a business partner, a doctor, a designer, or a pastor, there's always someone they can call. Their lives move at a different pace because they are not limited to their own ability. They have learned the art of leveraging relationships. This is not manipulation. It is wisdom. It is how God designed the world to work. Please allow me to just read that one more time. Listen, he said, this guy said, if you spend any time with truly successful people, you will notice a trend. They always know someone. Whether it's a lawyer, a business partner, a doctor, a designer, or a pastor, there's always someone they can call. Their lives move at a different pace. Let me say, their lives move at a different pace because they are not limited to their own abilities. They have learned the art of leveraging relationships. This is not manipulation, it is wisdom. It is how God designed the world to work. The favor of God is often hidden inside people. In fact, every breakthrough in Scripture involved a relationship. Moses needed Aaron. Naomi needed Ruth. David needed Jonathan. Esther needed Mordecai. Paul needed Barnabas. Jesus chose 12 disciples and didn't walk alone. If Jesus, the Son of God, needed relationships to fulfill his mission, who are we to think we can succeed alone? Who are you to think you can do it by yourself? It's just me and God. What? Divine favor through human connections. The story of Joseph and Pharaoh. In Genesis 40, verse 14 to verse 15, we find Joseph in prison interpreting dreams. He tells the cupbearer, "But when all goes well with you, remember me and show me kindness. Mention me to Pharaoh and get me out of this prison." Let's just simplify that. Put in a good word for me. Put in a good word for me. Let's simplify it even further. You know, don't forget me. That's it. That's it. And you know, the way that we have been, the way that we have been wired to stay in struggle, the way that we have been wired to just suffer through it. You know what has happened? We have been convinced you gotta get it by your own. You gotta earn it. I earned it. No, I didn't get connection. No one put me on. I earned it. What? Don't be weird. Don't be weird. Listen. Anytime that you hear somebody say they didn't need anybody, just know that's somebody to stay away from, because it is somebody who forgets people. It is somebody who forgets people. It is somebody who disregards relationships. If you hear anybody say, "I got here, nobody plugged me," just know it is somebody who disregards people. It's ridiculous to think you did it without anybody. That's ridiculous. There were parents, there were friends, there was an employer. Somebody worked and built a business and sacrificed just so that you can walk in with a CV and get a desk and a job. What? Don't need anybody. Don't be weird now. Don't be weird. Joseph was not released from prison because he protested or prayed harder. And let me say that again in case it bothers some of us. Listen, Joseph was not released from prison because he protested or prayed harder. He was released because of a relationship. A man he had helped remembered him in a moment of influence. That one recommendation changed Joseph's life forever. This is how God often works. He uses people to open doors. The lesson: invest in relationships. You never know who holds the key to your next season. Let me say that again. Invest in relationships. Invest in relationships. I remember there was somebody who said something very very interesting to me that really shook me. There was a mentor who said something to me, said to me, when you walk into a place where you are trying to find some favor with people, he said, you need to be friends with the security guard at the gate. Said most people want to befriend the CEO. They want to befriend the people in important positions. He said, befriend the security guard at the gate. I said, yeah, no, I get, you must be nice to everyone. He said, no, you're not listening to me. That security guard knows everybody who walks in through that gate. Said, that man knows everybody who accesses this property. That man takes their numbers as they drive in. That man has seen everybody who has walked in here. I was trying to be friends with the manager. I was trying to be friends with the lady in HR. You don't know who holds the key to your next season. You don't know who holds the key to your next breakthrough. The miracle of mutual supply. Elijah and the widow. We just read this now, but let's just go through it. This story deserves a special attention because it embodies the mystery of divine favor through partnership. Everyone say partnership. In 1 Kings 17, there is a severe drought. Elijah is sent to Zarephath, where a widow is gathering sticks to prepare a final meal for herself and her son. That is in verses 10 to 12. You'll see it there. It says, he called to her and asked, would you bring me a little water in a jar so I may have a drink? As she was going to get it, he called, and bring me please a piece of bread. As surely as the Lord your God lives, she replied, I don't have any bread. Only a handful of flour in a jar and a little olive oil in a jug. I am gathering a few sticks to take home and make a meal for myself and my son, that we may eat it and die. Elijah responds with faith and instruction. Don't be afraid. Go home, do as you have said, but first make a small loaf of bread for me. It sounds absurd. Why would a prophet ask a dying woman for her last meal? But the principle here is not manipulation, it is revelation. Elijah brought the faith the widow didn't have. Elijah brought the faith the widow didn't have. The widow brought the resources Elijah didn't have. The partnership produced a miracle. The flour and oil never ran out until the drought ended. Favor flowed when they came into alignment. Favor flowed when they came into alignment. God will often send you people who carry what you lack. Let me say it again. I'm going to say it slower. God will often send you people who carry what you lack. Stop trying to fight them. Stop trying to compete with them. The miracle is not the miracle is not in either of you alone, but in what happens when you come together. Both of us are smart as anything. Both of us are very capable. But when we came together, there was breakthrough that could not be contained. I'm just as smart as I was before. I didn't get smarter, but I got a partner, right? I got to know someone. Misconceptions about relationships. Many people have been conditioned to believe that benefiting from relationships is manipulative and somehow impure. Let me say it again. Many people have been conditioned to believe that benefiting from relationships is manipulative or somehow impure. They think it's more holy to suffer alone than to accept help. This mindset is not spiritual, it's dangerous. It is dangerous. While we must avoid selfish ambition or manipulative networking, we must not reject systems that God put in place to bless us. And a part of those systems is relationships. Relationships, my friend. Relationships are sacred. They are to be cultivated, honored, and stewarded. If you treat relationships as transactions, you will lose them. If you treat relationships as transactions, you will lose them. But if you treat them as a divine assignment, you will multiply them. Different relationships, different purposes. God uses different types of relationships to bring favor. Mentors impart wisdom. Friends provide strength. Spouses bring covering and partnership. Divine connections open doors of opportunity. Let me say that again. Divine connections open doors of opportunity. Let's just pause right there. I want you to just acknowledge what is happening in your life right now. What's happening in your mind right now? What is happening in your mindset? Some of the things that are falling away, some of the old beliefs that are beginning to be uprooted, some of the things you used to think about connection, some of the things you used to think about relationships. And I want you to allow for that work to happen. In other words, I will use this word. Listen, I want you to allow yourself to be brainwashed. Right? Because at some point you allowed yourself to be brainwashed into thinking there's something evil about having connections, having relationships. Just allow your mind to be rinsed of some of those old beliefs that kept you stuck. Not understanding that if I need to know somebody in there, right? To be like Joseph. Joseph who said, hey man, you got to remember me when you get in there. Please put in a good word for me when you get in there. And I'm telling you right now, when that is a relationship ordained by God, when that is a divine relationship, that person will walk in there, they will mention your name, and everybody will say, we almost forgot about him. Oh, yes. And then proteges allow you to multiply your impact. Don't try to make one person serve all purposes. Let me say that again. For those of all I need is my husband. Now all I need in this is my husband. Listen, don't try to make one person serve all purposes. Discern who is in your life and why they are there. Honor them accordingly. Now it's just me and my mother. It's just me and my mother. And the mother has a bad hip. She needs to rest. You need to just give her a break. You can't expect her to be everything to you. I'm very sorry if your mom has a bad hip and I'm talking about it. I'm just saying, like, you give her a break. You can't allow her to be everything to you. There are different relationships that fulfill different mandates in our lives. And we need to honor them accordingly. You hear what I'm saying? And then we're going to close this off with a challenge for you. We're closing off day 4 with a challenge for you. Evaluate and elevate your relationships. Take inventory of your life. Are you isolated or surrounded? Are your relationships stagnant or flourishing? Let me say it again. Are your relationships stagnant or flourishing? In other words, are they getting better as time goes on? Ask yourself, number 1, who do I need to reconnect with? And I know that we're already over time, but I want you to just pause here for a moment, right? But just to really think about it. I don't want to go through these questions too quickly. And perhaps write the question down if you don't have the book. If you don't have the book, you can write the question down. I don't know why you don't have the book, because you should have already went to Mashonisa to make sure you can get some money for the book. So, but number 1, who do I need to reconnect with? Is there anybody that you know you need to reconnect with? That you know you neglected that relationship? they tried, and somehow they ended up just letting it go because you just were not reciprocating. Number two, who have I been dishonoring? Who have I been dishonoring? This is a serious one. My friend, listen to me. Who have I been dishonoring? It might be an employer, right? It might be an employer. Some of us we get so comfortable in these places, you forget the day you walked in there wearing your only shirt, your only nice shirt, to beg for the job. Yo, now is it, guys? If you hire me, yo, begging for the job. Now you dishonor the same person whom you begged for a job. I'm not saying they're perfect. I'm not saying that you should allow people to disrespect you. I'm not saying you should allow abuse. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that some of us have a tendency of dishonoring relationships. And this question is for you to reflect. Can I tell you something? When I was writing this book, and I'll tell you this quite honestly, when I was writing this book, when I got to this part, I cannot tell you, I sat there, my heart pounding fast. I had to contact some people. And I said, I got it wrong. I got it wrong. And I cannot keep writing this book. I can't put this book out there to people if I know I got it wrong. Forgive me. Forgive me. Just whatever it is that I should have done better, I commit myself to doing better. And can I tell you something? Some of those relationships you might not get back. Some of those relationships might not be rekindled. They might not be reconciliated. Some people might never want to forgive you. Some people might never want to associate with you again. But what this is doing for you is it allows you to face yourself. It allows you to face yourself. Third question. What relationships have I outgrown? Remember, I said it was a challenge for you. So this was not meant to be easy. But here's the question. What relationships have I outgrown? What is it? A friend? What relationship have I outgrown? Think about it. I'm not going to tell you. You know who you've outgrown. You know who is standing in the way. And if you don't walk out, let me tell you what's going to happen. You're keeping those people around, and one day you're going to make them your scapegoat. Yo, man, if it wasn't for Bombani, if it wasn't for Bombani, now I would be fine. But wait, no, you have free will. It's up to you. You chose to be there. If you know that you've outgrown certain relationships, walk away from them. And the fourth question. Am I a blessing in the lives of others or a burden? Am I a blessing in the lives of others or a burden? Look at yourself. And don't be quick with this. You know, sometimes I get so annoyed when people, oh no, can't believe they fumble me. And who fumble me? Cause listen, hear me out. People are selfish. And if you were such a blessing to them, if you were such a blessing to them and they still chose to walk away, They still chose to say, you know what, I've got too many blessings in my life. I don't need this blessing. Interesting. That's interesting. But that's the question. Am I a blessing in the lives of others or a burden? My friend, listen to me. Before you go to bed tonight, I'm really hoping that you have some reflection work to do. Because you see, some of us, what's going to happen is you're hearing this and you're just like, yo. And then after this, you're gonna scroll and you're gonna watch I almost said names, but you're gonna watch other people and you immediately gonna start forgetting everything, and it will have just been here and now. It will have been just here and now. Right? So am I a blessing in the lives of others, or am I a burden? And then here's what I want you to commit to. Here's what I want you to commit to. 3 things to commit to. Number 1, initiating at least one strategic relationship this week. Initiating at least one strategic relationship this week. This week, you have a week from today, but over the next week, be intentional. Look at your life right now and ask, in which area of my life have I been expecting breakthrough? Have I been expecting favor? Initiate at least, just at least one strategic relationship. Right? Number 2, commit to praying for discernment in your current relationships. Commit to praying for discernment so that you will be sharp, so that you will be awake, so that you will look around you and you will be able to see everybody for who they are in your life. Some might be blessings in your life, and some may need to go. But pray for discernment. And then number 3, commit to reaching out to someone you know you need to honor better. Commit yourself to reaching out to someone you know you need to honor better. Might be a mentor. Many of our relationships with mentors is just what we need. We only call them to say, we hardly ever call to say, I just want you to know I've been praying for you. May God bless you. I want to thank you for everything that you have done for me. Thank you for always picking up the phone when I call. I just called this time around to say thank you. I am seeing progress in my life. I am seeing my life move forward. I am moving in wisdom, and it is because God has placed you in my life. I appreciate you. Thank you. That's it. Perhaps somebody you just need to get, just get them a gift. Just a little gift to say thank you for everything. Maybe for some of us here tonight, while things are good, to just one time at lunch, sit down with your employer, with the person who did your interview, and say, have I ever told you what was happening in my life that time I came here for an interview? Man, I didn't know if I was going to make it. You guys have no idea what you did for me. You guys have no idea how much you blessed me. When I walked into this place, I was about to lose hope. But man, you hear what I'm saying? But it doesn't matter what it is. Some of us know there are areas in our lives where we simply just need to honor people better. We just need to honor people better. Right? Some of you, it's a teacher. Or maybe it is the leadership at your church. Doesn't matter what it is. But just to show honor. And to just to, where honor is due, I will pay it. And then here's a journaling prompt for your journal. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for going on for this long tonight, but we're almost finished. We're at the bottom of page 38. A journaling prompt. Number one, who are 3 people God has used to open doors in your life? Doesn't matter what the doors are. Who are 3 people that God has used to open doors in your life? Listen, once again, it doesn't have to be a big door. It doesn't have to be a massive opportunity. Who are 3 people God has used to open doors in your life? Perhaps it is somebody who paid for your university. Perhaps it's NSFAS. Perhaps it's NSFAS, and you just need to say thank you to everyone who pays tax here. Just guys, thank you, guys. Yo, if you guys were not paying your taxes, banna. Right? Who are 3 people? Just sit down and think about it. 3 people that God has used to open doors in your life. These are things I need you to go write this down. I really need you to go write this down. Secondly, how have you honored or invested in those relationships? So you have those people down. How? Just in a very specific way. It has to be practical. Yes, pray for them. That's a good start. But how have they seen the way you've honored them? How have you honored or invested in those relationships? Relationships don't grow by themselves. Number 3, what relationships in your life need restoration and which ones need release? It's a moment of honesty, moment of truth. Once you've done all of that, okay, now, what relationships in my life need restoration and which ones need release? And then finally, here's what I want you to ask God. Ask God, who do you want to bring into my life for this next season? And who are you asking me to bless with what I carry? God, who do you want to bring into my life for this next season? And who are you asking me to bless with what I carry? Listen, let me say this. I want to emphasize that second part. You need to go and pray for the people that you need to bless. Stop just praying for people who will bless you. Stop just praying for people who will bless. God, bring my destiny helper. Who do I need to bless, God? Who are you sending into my life to be a blessing to? Who can I be a blessing to? Don't break the cycle. Listen, do not break the cycle. Continue to sow if you want to keep on reaping. If you want to continue to have a harvest, continue to sow. And then here's a final thought for the day. Favor doesn't always look like an unexpected bank transfer or a sudden miracle, although that would be nice. Sometimes it looks like a person. Honor the people God sends into your life. Nurture your connections. Sow into relationships. Because favor is relational and God works through people. And God works through people. May God help us.